Hey guys, Abner Miranda here. One of my viewers on Instagram sent me something this morning, and when I read it, I went, "What?" Check this out. Guys, before I show you the document, I want you to take a look at what Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai has to say. It'll be very short.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've all been held as a captive audience, right? Watching President Donald Trump handle the coronavirus outbreak, the situation. He has received both praise and criticism. What do you think? How has the president handled the outbreak?
Well, he's handled, as the best he could, given the fact that he's surrounded by sharks and people who are not really advising him well on the science side of it. What I'm talking about is Fauci. And that's what's unfortunate because, the president went through the Russian collusion nonsense that he had to go through. Then he had to go through the impeachment thing. And now he's having to deal with this coronavirus. And unfortunately, this guy Fauci has been in this environment for nearly 4 decades across multiple presidents. And he's essentially embedded into the scientific establishment, which has created an unfortunate lie about the immune system and an unfortunate lie about the solution to something like this called the coronavirus, or more importantly, infectious disease, without any real emphasis, which is a real issue, about the fact that it is a overactive, dysfunctional, weakened immune system that overreacts, and that's what causes damage to the body. And unfortunately, Fauci has not talked about that because the truth of that leads to a solution which has nothing to do with mandating vaccines and shutting down the country. And that's what's unfortunate.
Okay, we'll stop right there for now. My viewer this morning sent me some information which led me to a couple of different things. The first one was that video, and then that led me to this, Petition Fire Fauci. This is from Dr. Shiva's website, Shiva for Senate. All right, this is very interesting. And this is a very short letter that Dr. Shiva, well, there's a longer letter. The letter is here. We're not going to go through it in its entirety. But this is worth having a look at. Dr. Shiva wrote an open letter to Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, regarding indictment of and firing of Anthony Fauci. Dear Mr. President, I am signing this petition to sincerely request your administration immediately indict and fire Dr. Anthony Fauci. I agree with Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai's assessment, which he stated in a letter to you on March 23, 2020, that the current trajectory of Dr. Fauci's public health policy will result in the short and long-term destruction of our citizens' immune health as well as our nation's economic health. Let me stop there real quick. From the outset, when I saw our supposed leader standing at the podium saying, thanks to all the fast food restaurants that are stepping up and the delivery services that are stepping up and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and we're all sheltering in place in our homes, I kept thinking, wait a minute, we're being encouraged to eat crap food. We're basically being told shelter in place, inside. They have deprived you of vitamin D. Trust me, we'll get to the vitamin D thing here in a minute. They've deprived you of vitamin D because human skin exposed to sunlight naturally creates vitamin D. Guys, we're being fed, no pun intended, we're being fed a line and we're taking it in hook, line, and sinker. Let me stop here. The current trajectory of Dr. Fauci's public health policy will result in the short and long-term destruction of our citizens' immune health as well as our nation's economic health. Perhaps a conscious and intended goal. Perhaps a conscious and intended goal. Now here's why I think he's correct on that. In fact, let me go back to this video. Watch the look. Watch the look on Dr. Fauci's face. It's almost a smirk as he delivers this crap.
The truth of that leads to a solution which has nothing to do
with
mandating vaccines and shutting down the country. And that's what's unfortunate.
Guys, from the get-go, Dr. Fauci, my crap radar went off on Dr. Fauci. And when reporters started asking, where's Dr. Fauci, and things started leaking out around the edges that there was static between the president and Dr. Fauci, clearly President Trump must be reading something as well. Dr. Fauci's policy at best is based on a 1950s outdated one-size-fits-all, which is exactly what's happening right now, non-personalized approach to medicine and public health. And at worst, it is derived from a fake science. What have you guys heard me say? Guys, I literally just stumbled on this today, but what have you guys heard me say? Real virus, fake response. Right there, fake science, understanding of the immune system. one which Dr. Fauci over 5 decades has perpetuated and exploited to build his career. Dr. Fauci has significant and deep conflicts of interest with big pharma, pharmacology, pharmaceuticals, that has a singular aim: force medical mandates. Guys, pay attention to what he's saying right here, because what makes you think that he actually says it in this video, and I urge you to watch the video. I'll have a link to it. But in the video, he says, a year from now, you go to get your driver's license and they're going to ask you for your virus card. Well, I said, what makes you think come November, before you vote, you're going to have to prove you've had your government mandated vaccine? Force medical mandates, ergo vaccines upon all Americans. Vaccines upon all Americans. Big pharmacy, big pharmacology is failing, and it is in economic peril. Forced and mandated vaccines are the only path for big pharma's future. Do you understand what he's saying here, folks? Guys, this paragraph right here basically says that America can kiss freedom goodbye and will be forced to take a vaccine before we can buy, sell, vote, or anything. And look who's pushing this stuff: CDC, WHO, China, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. You know what that is right there, Facebook. And look at that, Clinton, and of course, Big Pharmacy. During Dr. Fauci's tenure, Americans have been led down a path of corporate solutions, delivering policies that have led America to the lowest longevity rates and highest infant mortality rates in the Western world. In the current situation, purposely driven by fear-mongering and fake science, Dr. Fauci, his allies, Big Pharma, Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, Chan Zuckerberg, WHO, CDC, and the Chinese Communist Party will profit. Let's take a pause. The Chinese Communist Party will profit enormously, both politically and economically, at the expense of the American working people. It is time we focus on the immune health of the American people, which Big Pharma has zero interest in advancing. It is time we fire and indict Anthony Fauci to send a much-needed and long-awaited signal to his Big Pharma allies. And you can sign the petition, which is what I'm going to do. And you know what? I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to click sign now. All right, boom, signed. Before I let you guys go, I want to show you something real quick. This is essentially a series of excerpts from his letter. He makes a comment about the fact that our health, our longevity, and our mortality rates are bad here. This is actually the full letter. In summary, we have been led down the path of corporate solutions espoused by the likes of Dr. Fauci and his colleagues at the CDC. That is not in the interest of the American people. Such policies have led America to the lowest longevity rates and highest infant mortality rates in the Western world. Finally, concerning COVID-19, we should ask, why is it that third world countries such as Chad and Djibouti, which have nowhere near the medical facilities of the United States, have only 1 COVID-19 infection and 0 deaths? Perhaps it's because they get food right out of the ground, providing them enormous vitamin A, and they are out in the sun all day, working and playing, getting tons of vitamin D. Booyah. Guys, we are being fed, and by the way, you need to read this entire letter because there is a solution, and it is such a simple solution. In fact, let me read you one little section. There it is. In addition to the above protocol, guys, the protocol he lays out is like stupid simple that anybody could follow. I'm organizing medical doctors across the world who not only support this protocol but also know that food is medicine, as did Hippocrates, the father of medicine. Any citizen who may need medical advice on this solution may also send an email to, and he's got the email right there. This letter is not that long. You can see it's very narrow here on the page. Read this. This is a relatively short read, and it is fascinating. And it's filled with very basic information that you can do for yourself and your children, things that you can get off the grocery store shelves. Read this, please. Free yourself from fear. The medical establishment knows that if you're putting people on ventilators, they're dying. In fact, it's one of those deals. My wife said this to me. She goes, typically, when a person goes on a ventilator, they seldom ever come off. Guys, this is bigger than COVID. COVID is just the tool. It's just the vehicle that's being used to keep everyone squashed in place, sheltering in place, away from sunlight, away from fresh air, away from talking with one another, and communicating with one another and saying, I see what's going on here, we need to do something about it. So the question is, what do you do about it? Up until just a few days ago, I still was thinking the way a lot of you think, which is, what can I do about it? I don't have access to the president. You don't need to have access to the president. Remember, we are a bottom to the top government. And really, even that is a misnomer. To think that we are at the bottom is to say that we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, do you see where I'm going with this? We, the people, you can contact your mayor. And I could deliver a thumb drive with this information. Now, I know that someone's going to say, well, what makes you think that it'll actually make it to the mayor? I don't know it's going to make it to the mayor. What I do know is if I try to contact the president, I know that's not going to make it to the president. But I have a higher expectancy of success to get information to my mayor or my sheriff. Guys, everybody who lives in a community knows somebody who knows somebody who knows the mayor or knows the sheriff. Right? You have a higher probability of success of getting this information to somebody in your local region than you do trying to get it to the president. So the point is, you get it to your mayor gets it to the governor then gets it to the president. Because remember, the president is talking to the governors via these phone conferences. Folks, bottom to the top, we the people. Guys, we don't have a lot of time left. We need to start moving, and we need to start moving now before we completely realize one day we wake up and America is completely gone.